Are you a calm or angry mother and wife? It's a very big question. And those of us who are growing wives and mothers, women, we're always criticizing ourselves, or we're constantly rating ourselves, feeling easily bad about ourselves when we mess up, when we're screaming, when we're criticizing, when the atmosphere in the house is not 100% positive, and we feel low about ourselves. And these women, if you're one of those women, you're the one who actually wants to grow. You constantly care about the well-being of your family as well as the atmosphere in the house. So when you self-reflect and when you realize that it's actually halfway to the solution to the problem, which is obviously a calm and happy mother. Now, obviously, we can't be like that all the time, but in this video, I really hope to show you trends that we may have as being an arrogant or angry mother and wife, or a calm and humble mother and wife. So we're going to see those trends, and I'm going to give you an affirmation, a positive affirmation and practical tip at the end. Okay, so if we're being a calm mother and wife versus being an angry or arrogant mother and wife, we're going to see the differences, and you're going to rate yourself and see where are you holding. Now, I just want to tell you, remember, we can't always be one way, but just if you can see one way that you can just grow and improve just a little bit, I hope this is one takeaway you could take from this video. Okay, so an arrogant woman, what does she do? She must show that she is perfect. And a humble woman says she is really not afraid that someone will discover that she is not perfect. In other words, an arrogant woman, it is very difficult for her to apologize. She's constantly right? She will argue for hours on end about trivial matters. Most of things in life that go wrong, it's all nonsense. It's trivialities. Someone didn't call you, someone didn't invite you, you're late to this appointment, something got delayed, you're stuck in traffic. This is day-to-day, everyday trivialities that get us upset. And it's very difficult to stay that way. So we have to learn how to get out of that mode, right? However, this woman, she must show that she is perfect. It's very hard for her to apologize, very arrogant, can argue for hours on end, all night, the next day. So this is an arrogant woman. And a humble woman knows that apologizing, even if you know you're right, this is really her choice. It shows she has positive self-esteem and self-respect. She knows her self-worth. This does not mean that she is a doormat. It means that she values peace over being right. So apologizes easily, knows that you are human and you're bound to make mistakes. And peace is important. She also knows that she's more attractive to her husband when she's apologetic, when she's humble, when she seeks peace. It's feminine. It's a feminine quality. It's not feminine. It's more masculine when she's being too assertive, loud, demanding. That is not attractive. And we know that it's also a very good teachable moment to our children to teach them that, hey, I'm human, I'm an adult, but I'm humble enough to say that I was wrong. I learned this from Rebbetzin Greenfield. She says, I'm going to reset myself. So when when we fall, when we make mistakes, when we need to reset ourselves, we can say this in a verbal way. I'm resetting myself. Take a few deep breaths, as many breaths as you need. And this is another practical tip you can use. So resetting yourself, and this teaches our children that you can also change. An adult seeks to improve and change. It's not like when an adult becomes, a mother and wife that they're perfect. No, it doesn't mean that at all. And children learn by example. You can lecture your children from now until tomorrow, and it's going to go one ear and out the other. It could be the best life advice. But if we're not living the words that we're teaching, it's really, really pointless. Okay, another idea is that an arrogant woman does not tolerate criticism, and a humble woman is happy to receive criticism. And I'm going to explain. An arrogant woman does not tolerate criticism because she has very high expectations of other people. Other people need to constantly compliment her and respect her. You know, people become very edgy around a person like that, and it's very uncomfortable. You don't feel yourself. The husband wants to do things exactly the way she wants just to close her mouth. Or the children want to do exactly what mommy says just to make her happy, just so that she doesn't get upset at them. But then they learn to lie and go around her words and not really listen to her behind her back, which means that they don't really respect her or have a connection with her. And that's not what we want. While a humble woman is happy to receive criticism. That could be really weird to hear. What do you mean happy? Why would I be seeking criticism? A woman who is humble, she knows that she views criticism as a growth opportunity. She chooses to introspect, she chooses to self-reflect, and she knows that she's not perfect. She knows that life is all about growth, and she appreciates the messages that Hashem sends her. Who does Hashem send us messages through? Our families, the situations around us, our circumstances. We're here to grow. We're not here to lay around at the beach all day or in Florida or some other place and just like have no worries ever. We're not here to ask Hashem for challenges, but we know that life is all about growth and change. So if I'm sent these messages, I know that, whoa, this is an opportunity, a stepping stone for growth. And she values that type of criticism. It's not easy to receive criticism. It really isn't. It's something I'm also practicing, and it's a lifetime of work. However, we know that criticism is a way for us to learn and to grow and to become better people. Okay, so another idea is this: an arrogant woman she won't admit her personal weakness, while a humble woman isn't ashamed to say her personal weakness. So an arrogant person lives in the illusion that she's perfect and that she has no flaws, right? She's far away from being in tune with herself and far away from recognizing her inner self, right? We need to have quiet moments. We need to have self-reflection and prayer. But someone who's constantly on the phone, constantly watching movies, constantly moving around, they can't be with themselves. They don't know who they are. Life's distractions. And that is the Yetzer Hara of our generation. Constant distractions, constantly on the go. Are we thinking? We need to make that time to think. Time will not come knocking on our door. We need to make that time to think and introspect and reflect. While a humble woman isn't ashamed of her personal weaknesses, she knows that the weakness is here for her to become a great person, and she shares it to help other people. Remember, we're here in this world because we're there for one another. We need each other. We're not like the animal kingdom, who really doesn't depend on each other except for food. They really listen. If a lion is hungry, it's not going to care about the fawn who was just born. It's hungry. It's instinctual. It's going to eat it. He doesn't really care about the feelings of the mother that's just had the fawn, the baby deer, because we have thoughts, we have feelings, we have our minds to make the right decisions. We need each other in this world. So we are not like the animal kingdom. And so she isn't afraid to say her personal weakness. Of course, we don't want to blast our personal lives to the world, but we want to use our weaknesses to become better people, to become more, to improve. We know that this is probably the mission why we're here in this world, because of this weakness. It's usually that one thing that it's really difficult for us. And remember, Hashem created us to succeed, to soar. If Hashem gave you a weakness, He already gave you a solution to it. You just have to tap into it and ask Hashem to help you, to enable you to come out of this weakness, to overcome this weakness. But you know that this is your mission in this world in this way. So don't be afraid of your weaknesses. You don't have to blast it to the world or tell everyone. It's very important to grow from it, to ask for help, to practice. Remember, whatever you practice, that's what you're good at. If you're practicing introspection, reflection, and overcoming your character traits, which is a purpose in this world, every one of us are here to become better people. So this person is very humble and admits that she is not perfect. Okay. Another idea is that an arrogant person is preoccupied with thoughts of how to impress others and hide her own faults. She wants to give the impression of perfection. Now we know nobody's perfect, and a humble person is barely concerned about what other people think of her. She doesn't think about whether she is appreciated enough. She does not seek appreciation. Now this is a really big one. I sent like a survey, which is like really informal, and I asked ladies, I said, if you had this one thing in your life, how would you do your job as a mother and wife even better? And they said, if I get more appreciation, I would do my job 100 times better, so much more. But we're not here to be appreciated. We need to appreciate ourselves. We need to feel that we're privileged to be a mother and wife. Not everyone can be a wife. Not everyone can be a mother. Not everyone is healthy to do so. You know, she does not seek appreciation. She values the privileged role of raising her children, the next generation. She values her role as a wife and mother because she's the foundation of the home. This is such a privileged status. If we have a leader, no matter how much we appreciate the leader, we don't know how it is to be in their shoes, right? We don't know how it is to be the president of the United States. Any leader, the CEO of a company, their job is, whoa, like we cannot relate to it. A CEO of a company, we appreciate them. That's who we are. We are the CEO in our homes. So we are the foundation. We are the pulse. We are the really the not only just the foundation, but really we hold the home together. We are the aroma in the house. It's a privileged role. It's an empowering role, and we need to appreciate it. We have to appreciate ourselves, and when you appreciate yourselves and you value your role, of course your family is going to appreciate you. My Rebbitzin, Estabella Schwartz, gave young mothers who she was lecturing at a class a bracha, a blessing, and she said, the blessing is, I wish your families to never appreciate you. And everyone was baffled. What do you mean? What kind of blessing is that? They were shocked. What does that mean? A person only appreciates someone when they lose them. Meaning that she wished that their families would never lose them, would never lose the mother or the wife of the house, never. Because only when you lose them do you really appreciate it. And we know that, unfortunately, this is in our own families. We can relate to people who lost people, beloved ones. We know how it feels. We don't want that feeling. So we need to value ourselves and feel privileged to be the mother and wife in our home. Another idea is that the arrogant woman sees anyone who is more successful than she is as a threat. She lives a life of competition, right? And she feels that if she takes my role, then I can't do that role. But yet, a humble person knows my role is unique. No one can take my role. And someone else's role, no, I can't take that person's role. And whatever's meant to be mine will eventually find me, right? If that person has certain assets, wealth, house, so many kids, any other successes in life, I can also have that. Just because somebody else has it doesn't mean I can't. And the humble person is not concerned if others are more successful. If I have X amount of money and that person has Y amount of money, then I have my mission. I need this lifestyle, this circumstance to fulfill my mission, to live my life. Because if I had more money, maybe I wouldn't be able to be the person I'm meant to become. Maybe that money would get to my head, right? We don't know. So Hashem knows how much to give to each person. And the humble woman knows that whatever is meant to be hers will find her no matter what, and no one can take that away from her. And other people's success is her success. Since we affect each other universally, we know that no matter what someone does, it affects the whole world. Someone speaks Lashon Hara, it affects the cosmos. Lashon Hara is negative speech, evil speech. Anything I do, positive or negative, imagine the traffic on the road, right, in the highway. It stops everything. And that's a message to us physically into the spiritual world, right? When we speak negatively about one another, when we do any kind of negative behavior, negative speech, we affect the whole world. So if I know she's successful, I know that she's also affecting my world as well. Okay, the last idea I wanted to share is that an arrogant person tries to show everyone that she is better than they are. In other words, she lifts herself up by putting other people down, right? She values herself temporarily by putting others down and speaks lashon hara, evil speech. And this is all temporary because after that dissipates, she feels negatively again about herself because lashon hara, being negative towards other people, spreading gossip, this will only eat the person up themselves because they're living in an illusion, they're living in falsehood. Okay, so the humble person does not feel the need to prove her superiority. She is nothing without Hashem. She knows everything she has and doesn't have is a gift from Hashem. Why do I feel so superior? I shouldn't feel so superior, she says. Because what do I have? I used to be non-existent, right? One of the reasons why we put eggs in challah when we bake is to remind us that the egg exists because of my humble beginnings. At one point, I had nothing. I was nothing. I only depended on you, Hashem. And now I'm a complete human being only because Hashem enabled me to be one. So we have nothing to feel superior about because everything in my life is a gift from Hashem. The positive and the seemingly negative, they're all experiences because Hashem loves you so much. He doesn't know how to hurt you. He loves you so much and only cares about you. So it's really, really important that we instill this in ourselves. And I'm going to leave you with an affirmation, a practical tip you could tell yourself. I choose humility over arrogance, and I'm lucky to have the privileged role of being a mother and wife and to raise the next generation. Appreciating the insights of Aaron Friedman in the book Yes You Can, Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.